Skies are dark on this winter night, but the prospects appear bright for the Petaluma girls soccer team, as it's the season opener for Petaluma as they take on Anza here from Steve Ellison Field. What a shot! The wonder goal! And good evening from Steve Ellison Field. I'm Griffin Epstein on a very cold December night here. The girls soccer team has their season debut as they face off against Anza, the team they faced in the first round of NCS right here at Steve Ellison Field last February. The expectations are sky high for the Varsity girls soccer team. After last year's exceptional season, they finished third in a very good SCL, 10-2 and 2 in SCL overall, including making it to the quarterfinals of the NCS playoffs. Now the Trojans have even higher expectations. They did not have a single senior on that team. They were young. This team is now brimming with experience. They go into a new VVAL league, and there is a lot of excitement about this Trojan team. We'll see if they can get out on the right foot against an experienced and very good Anza team that's already played a couple games in their season. They're 2-0-1 early on. It should be a good one against the Trojans and Anza. It's all coming up next year on Trojan Live. We welcome you up top, Steve Ellison Field, as captains are meeting in the middle for the girls soccer team for Petaluma and for Anza, two experienced teams. Petaluma ready to get their season started, a late start to their year, but they've got 3 games this week, and this might be the most challenging out of the 3 against a very experienced Anza team. Comes in 1-2 already. They even already played a league game. They've been playing for a week, and they've already played. All that experience could really help the Dons in this one, that they've already played a couple game experiences. Even though Petaluma scrimmage practiced a lot, you can't simulate that in-game play. So that could be something, especially to watch early, how Petaluma does, maybe with a little rustiness in their first game, while Anza's closer to mid-season form. Anza's already knocked off Mount Diablo 5-0 in their season opener, and then played very well against 2 very good teams, a 1-1 draw against Albany, and then a 1-1 draw against Antioch. All 3 of those games were last week. Just had the coin flip to decide who will get it first. Petaluma captains are led by, as they go behind the tent, are led by 3 seniors and a junior. For 10 seniors on this Trojan team, very experienced. Tessa Lambert, Zoe Frothinger, Hannah Herman, and Kendra Berry, the captains for the Trojans, and head coach Deegan Babala in his 3rd year as head coach for Petaluma. Kickoff is next between the Dons and the Trojans as the Trojans get their season underway. Ready to go? You see the nerves on many of the Trojans' faces. Have waited a long time to finally open up their season. Smoke disrupted their practice schedule for a couple weeks. But all the talk, all the expectations for this team, can they win league? Can they win NCS? I finally get to prove it out on the field. Talk is just talk. There's the whistle, and we are underway. The 2018-19 Varsity Girls soccer season. Anza will start with the opening kick, but they turn the ball over quickly. 40-minute halves here tonight on this blustery Monday night from Steve Ellison Field. About 45, but a wind chill dropping it close to freezing. It is a chilly one. Guggenhauer taking it behind the tent there that obstructs your view. Nice give and go back to the senior. And now they go ahead to Rocha. Amanda Rocha, 2 of the Rocha sisters, both very speedy. Coach Babala calls them spark plugs. They have a lot of speed, and they were a factor last year for the Trojans. Didn't score a lot. They struggled with finishing at the net, but they gave defenses headaches and often allowed goals up the middle because they had places down the wings. Trojans controlling play here early. These teams played last February in the first round of the ITS playoffs here at Steve Ellison Field. It was the first event ever held at Steve Ellison Field, and the Trojans came away with a 7-2 victory. They were electric that night offensively, and it was a very emotional night, the first night at Ellison Field. Guggenhauer sends it in a little too tall. And Anza will watch that one go out. Guggenhauer was looking for senior captain Hannah Herman.
This Trojan team has learned a lot from last year. It was a thrilling season. 10-2-2 in SCL, 15-6-2 overall. A 1-0 loss to Kennedy in the quarterfinals of NCS. But they certainly were as good as any team in NCS. Now you know they're going to be even better this year. In all likelihood, at least. What can they do? Guggenhauer has been in the middle of everything to start. She crosses it over. The header is wide. Lauren Hazel, who led the Trojans in scoring, got ahead on that one, but sent it wide right of the post. Excellent run by Guggenhauer into the box. And Hazel was unaccounted for. The junior, so talented, especially finishing. That's exactly who you want to finish a nice run there if you're Petaluma. Deonza struggling to control the ball here early. This is a feisty Deonza team, though, with a good defense, and they're used to playing back. And they hung around with Petaluma for a while before the Trojans kind of put it on them late in that one. Deonza actually took a 1-0 lead early. Trojans quickly back to work. Nice, beautiful new artificial turf field. Perfect for winter soccer. Any rain, dew, mud doesn't exist on an artificial turf field. Stays Petaluma ball as the Dons just clear it. 7 seniors on this Deonza team. So they're under new direction from head coach Marcos Matos. They were 12-7-1 last year, including 8-0 in the TCAL Stone League to win the league title. They have built a strong program there, but the Trojans have one just brimming with talent, experience, and strength. See Deonza just clearing the ball out again. We are about 4 minutes into this first half. No score from Steve Ellison Field. That's Guggenhauer getting in the mix, and Deonza clearing it. They gotta start creating some offense of their own, at least get some ball possession. And settle down. If you're head coach Marcos Matos, that's what you want to see. And so the Trojans pressing up. They are making them fight hard as Herman helps takes it away. Hernandez Ramirez over the middle. So good technically with those feet. Now Guggenhauer's got Hazel. On to Herman. Rocha down the middle. Hazel scores! And the Trojans strike first blood, their first goal of the season. Lauren Hazel finishes with the right foot. They left her unaccounted before she couldn't finish. This time she makes the Dons pay, and it's 1-0. So Hazel leaves off right where she started last year. Kendra Berry was leading the Trojans in scoring. She was injured, still out, likely well into January or February. Hazel picked up the slack, led the team in scoring, and she hit that forward position. So good finishing, you saw it there. Again, the Dons just leaving her unaccounted. This time she slotted it away in the right corner. 1-0 the score here for Petaluma, 5 minutes into this one. And the Trojans really controlling play here early. Frothinger. So ahead to Herman, who's been active early, the senior captain. Taken away by Deonza. They get it forward. You look for some counterattacks here if you're the Dons. They're sitting back and defending and try to hold it, but Petaluma's going to score. There's no doubt about that. We'll see if, says Deonza ball, see if the Trojans' freshman goalkeeper gets tested tonight, because that could be an iffy spot. Coach Deegan Babal has a lot of trust in Savannah Sessi, the new goalkeeper for Petaluma, but that is a mentally straining job to be a soccer goalkeeper. Only a freshman. It's a risky business. Trojans goalkeeper last year was Clara Garcia, the foreign exchange student from Spain, and she's back in Madrid, so Trojans had to look for a replacement and decide to go with the talented freshman Sessi. We'll see, though, if the Dons can get it downfield as Guggenhauer is called for the foul. De Anza has to know that there are some weaknesses goalkeeping-wise of this Petaluma defense, led by Tessa Lambert, Sarah McGannum, and Delaney Johnson. They are hard to get through. A booming kick downfield. That was Lambert who fielded it well. Frothinger, another excellent defender on the back end for Petaluma. They shut down some good teams last year. A memorable 0-0 draw with the NCS number 1 seed in Division 3 last year, Annalee. That game at Sebastopol, we were there for that one. That was a thriller. Clark Garcia had a couple big saves, though, as a keeper, though the Petaluma defense was excellent that night. Hazel gets it forward to Herman. It's the give and go, and Rocha down the middle. The pass was a little bit off. They need to lead Rocha forward, and she might have been gone. De Anza just clears it out, but after that opening goal by Petaluma, the Dons have picked up their play a little bit here. Starting to control possession. 8 minutes gone on this first half. The season opener for Petaluma 1-0. It's the Trojans' early goal. Alondra Hernandez Ramirez over to Guggenhauer, who's really been at the middle of everything to start. The Dons got to hold that back line, not let anybody through, but turnovers in your own end could really hurt. De Anza played a quadruple overtime game on Friday against Albany in that 1-1 draw. They know how to defend a back line. They've already done it a couple times this year. Lost 7 seniors from last year's team, but returned the majority similar to the Trojans. So you have a lot of experience on both sides, which is exciting. Rocha is in, but she can't handle it. Her touch has been what you've always been concerned about if you're a Petaluma fan, or something she needs to improve on, and they're just not able to handle it after De Anza squabbled that one up. Nice play by a keeper for the Dons. So that one heads out. De Anza ball. Trojan ball, I should say. The Dons bring it forward, but that back line so far for Petaluma, there are no gaps. Sarah McGannum leading her friend Frances Guggenhauer, and ahead to Hazel, and quickly Petaluma back in business. Guggenhauer. Goalkeeper for De Anza, Sam Nash, a sophomore. She's new as well. Mendoza was the senior goalkeeper for the Dons last year. Played valiantly against a barrage Petaluma offense. Trojans didn't lose a senior from that team last year. A couple players, obviously Clara Garcia not returning due to being in Spain. A couple other players deciding not to play. And obviously some injuries as well. But 14 returners, that's about 2/3 of this team for Petaluma returns. And a couple of talented underclassmen we might get to see tonight as well. Oh, what a crossover move! And finishing! Anna Hartman has made it 2-0 single-handedly. She juked the Dawn out of her shoes and then finished to boot. What a play by the senior forward. And it is 2-0. It is a cold night here at Steve Ellison Field, but the Trojans have gone off to a hot start. 10 minutes gone in this first half. 2-0 Petaluma. Hazel and Herman, the 2 goals, and the Trojans have controlled possession here early. De Anza's tried to sit back, but there have been some holes in this defense. De Anza's got a couple counterattacks going, but this Petaluma defense, as you see, Exhibit A by Lambert there, are so calm, they're so poised. Often you're put on an island in the way that the Trojans push up and be aggressive with their offense, but they trust. They're experienced defense. All 4 returned from last year. All 4 were brilliant last year. And every player right now out on this starting 9 for Petaluma, with the exception of goalkeeper, all return. Anza clears it out. It falls to Guggenhauer. Hernandez Ramirez. That's loose. Sends it wide of the bar. The senior midfielder isn't necessarily the biggest goalkeeper, but she had a mode of inspiration there. Mentioned head coach Deacon Babala in his 3rd year, and kind of said first year he was kind of thrown into the jaw, didn't know exactly what he was doing, what he was up with a varsity girls soccer team. Last year with a good team, a more experienced team. They're really young 2 years ago. Was able to settle down a little bit, but it was the first year last year. Winter soccer, Trojans were not at Steve Ellison Field with the exception of the very final NCS game. They had to play at Lucchese Park with this brand new Steve Ellison Field under renovation. So that one heads out. Anza ball. And finally, in his 3rd year, it really feels like it's a return to normalcy. Petaluma can settle down. They're at their home field. They're not going to have to go anywhere no matter the weather unless there's lightning, which is extraordinarily rare here in California. They're going to get to play their games. He's been around. He knows these players. He's a longtime club coach as well, and many of these players play on his club team, so that's always helped. But he's very much settled into his job, and he inherited a lot of talent in just a couple years. He's built some great players. Excellent play by Lambert. She had it made that, she would have been in trouble. Anza puts it forward, and Ceci comes out and clears it away. That was a little bit nerve-wracking. I think you would have wanted to see better communication there. But the Trojans deal with the first, at least, major chance by the Dons. And Rocha racing the other way. You see the speed, but she can't catch up to that one. A little too far out in front of the speedy junior. Jordan's 250th exactly ranked in California by Max Preps. With 0 seniors, 13 underclassmen on that team. Hazel nearly single-handedly took it away from a pair of Dons, and then Anza panicked and just cleared it away. It's not a back end that looks as poised as Petaluma to start here. They've been under a barrage of pressure. That's exhausting, and they've let a couple holes slip, and that's why this is 2-0. Rocha to throw it in. Petaluma's won a lot of those 50-50 balls. The effort's been there tonight. We talked about the concern rust-wise for Petaluma being their first game of the season. They haven't gotten the in-game intensity. Anza's already played 3 games, played a lot of intense soccer. They even had a league game in that Albany quadruple overtime draw. So the Trojans push it back. But Petaluma has shown no signs of rust. They've looked totally poised, totally ready for this moment against the Anza team that's in mid-season form. Frothinger centers it, but there was mishandled in the middle. Hazel had it on her right foot. 15 minutes gone in this first half. 2-0. The Trojans lead Hazel and Herman. With the 2 goals for Petaluma, they've dominated this one to start. And a busy week to start, too. We'll see if they can hold up. You don't play a game you practice for nearly a month. They're the last team in VVAL to start league play. They finally play here tonight. Now they have 3 games in this week. They'll be on the road against a decent Santa Rosa team on Wednesday, and then they take on Rancho Cotati, who didn't win a game last year, on Friday, back here at Steve Ellison Field. Rocha, Guggenhauer, back to Rocha, who's pushed up a lot more than she did last year. She's traditionally a defender, but she's kind of played a central defending mid. She's a talented player, has great touch. Kind of the opposite of her sister in a way, who has the speed but not the touch. Hernandez Ramirez. She's done a good job with Goggenhauer at that center attacking mid spot. Herman. Goggenhauer now. Hazel just trying to make things happen by herself. Spiraling to the keeper, but the save is made. Needed a little bit more mustard to make Nash get out of position on the end of routine save for the sophomore goalkeeper for the Dons. You can see the pressure getting to De Anza once again there. He just knocks it out. It has to be exhausting for them, though, that they have played more games and now having to deal with playing all this. Petaluma does have the fresher legs. That's the advantage. Saw the girls' basketball team open their season against Rancho Cotati. They were supposed to have some games, or canceled due to the smoke. And they played the Cougars team that had already played 2 games. I know it was a major factor in that one that Rancho had already gotten in-game experience and gotten that intensity, and Petaluma hadn't been able to experience that. The same thing does not apply on the soccer field, apparently. Trojans get it forward to Rocha. She's come way up, crossing it over. And now Nash has to dive on the purple turf, as Hazel got a boot on it, but much better covered there. You got to mark your player if you're the Dons, and they didn't do that. And Hazel's first goal. Hazel nearly had another one where they didn't mark either. Much better job on that time. Not a good clear at all by Nash. De Anza lucky to get it back. The Dons out of El Sobrante have made about a 45-minute trip northwest out of the East Bay. Can see it's a smattering at best of fans. And counted maybe on 2 hands at about 10. Petaluma with about, I'd say, 50 fans in attendance. It's hard to come out on a cold Monday night as Hazel takes another go, but Nash has also settled down herself and makes another save. Hazel is not afraid to shoot. Rocha just out racing the De Anza defender, who smartly pokes it out in that situation. Have some substitutions as we reach the halfway point of this first half. Muganum is off. We'll see Nicolette Starkey make her first appearance, the senior. Is a blustery night with the wind blowing around, and many of the patrons who have come out for this affair are bundled up. Surprised to see many of the soccer players in short sleeves and shorts. You got to get that blood flowing. There's some speed and some skill by the Dons. It's number 19 for De Anza, Kimberly Jimenez. This Trojan defense has built a wall and not let much in. Ceci has just had to come out once. It's been a pretty quiet day for Lambert so far. A star defender on the back. She's hoping to go to college for soccer. Still reviewing her offers. There could be a couple college-bound players on this talented team as the Trojans get forward. Rocha wasn't able to get on the back end of it. Coach Babala loudly instructing his players. Sometimes that last touch has been the issue for Petaluma in scoring. That was at points they would go cold last year offensively, and they wouldn't be able to get that finishing touch They often controlled games, controlled offense like they did here. But getting that last goal off of that last pass, that last touch, that last finish was challenging at points. And that's something that could take them from really good last year to a historically great team in Petaluma history this year. Lambert with the little spin. It's the second time a De Anza players look lost on a fancy footwork move. It's going to be De Anza ball as that one heads out near those beautiful new facility with the stairs and on-ramp. Been built here at this new Ellison Field, the purple end zones, and the lighting so much better as well. Many enjoying better facilities. Obviously for football it was terrific, and soccer and lacrosse and track will continue to use that as the year goes on. Starkey, who just entered, gets it to Rocha, back to Lambert, who had to get rid of it real quickly as the Dons were charging there, trying to take advantage of a turnover. 22 minutes gone here in this first half. 18 minutes to go, and it's 2-0 Petaluma. Already more goals that De Anza has allowed this year in this game than any game before in their first three. Hazel gets it forward to Rocha. De Anza, nice job clearing it away. Back over the middle, and once again the Dons clear it. Valiantly defending here by De Anza. Hernandez Ramirez. I don't know where she was looking on that one. Petaluma finished third in SCL last year behind Annalee and Sonoma Academy. Mentioned that probably the game of the season was the 0-0 draw to Annalee and Sebastopol. Kept them in the SCL title conversation. Ended up finishing a game out. But that Annalee team, seeded first in NCS Division III, went all the way to the championship game before falling to Campolindo. Speaking of beating good teams, last year the Trojans beat Cardinal Newman in the championship game of the Lady Cat Invitational in Ukiah, tournament up in early December. And Cardinal Newman, as that one is crossed and unable to be handled by Harmon, this one slicing into the corner, and as soon as it left the foot of Lauren Hazel, she knew she had scored. So brilliant with her right foot. And she's already got 2 tonight. She's going to be searching for the hat trick. It's 3-0 Petaluma. Well, we talked about that finishing touch for the Trojans, and sometimes you don't need it. As Amanda Rocha will step off. A couple more substitutions. Herman will take a seat. And Eleanor Burnett, a new varsity player, will enter. But sometimes you just need a moment of magic, and Hazel has done that tonight. Herman really had a nice move and a nice finish. De Anza just kind of hoping for Ceci to have some struggles, which she did not there. And the Trojans go behind this nice new net that provides a little more security for the players. Good for the sun when you have a day game, and not as needed at night, but certainly nice to have a little protection, a little spot. And a lot nicer for them to play here than play at Lucchese Field. You didn't have a home last year. We're talking a Cardinal Newman, who the Trojans beat 2-1 last December, and Newman went on, won NCS, and won the state title. Took all the way till March, but Cardinal Newman, the first Sonoma County, the first Cardinal Newman team ever to win the state title in girls soccer. Not the first Sonoma County team. Montgomery, Mia Carrillo both have pretty prestigious traditions. It was surprising to see Newman make the run, but the Trojans beat Newman early in the year. Say Petaluma beat a state champion last year. Tied a first seed in NCS who lost in the championship game. They also outplayed Annalee the first time they played them. Lost 2-1. Cross is well defended by De Anza that time, and they clear it away. Kloss has been harder to work with. Starkey battling hard. The Trojans send it back to their defenders. Hernandez Ramirez back there. Hazel. It's pass deflected. It will stay Trojan ball. Katrina Rodriguez, another new Trojan, has entered. She's only a freshman. There's a lot of talent in girls soccer, both sides of the 101. As Rocha crosses it. And then scored! What a goal! A laser by Charlotte Crysdale. The cross by Rocha was terrific. And the finish by Crysdale outraced the camera to the corner of the net. No chance for Deonza. No chance for goalkeeper Seb Nash. Petaluma is putting it on the Dons in this season opener, 4-0. And we still got over 10 minutes remaining in this first half. Oh, the Trojans last year, final score was 7-2 in that NCS victory for them, but it wasn't as dominant as they have looked tonight against the Deonza team that comes back with probably more skill and more experience from last year. Petaluma is absolutely controlled and dominated this game against a good Dons team that, remember, won their league title last year and has a lot of returning players. Speaking of league titles, it could be between Petaluma and Casa for the league title in girls soccer in VVAL this year. Casa Grande beat Petaluma. They played in the first game last year. It was a 2-0 victory for Casa Grande. Although Petaluma didn't necessarily click as early in the season as they appear to here. This one had another good chance. Hazel nearly took it away and might have had an opportunity at goal. And Deonza continues with just some frantic clearing. And now Hazel is in the clear. Look out. She's looking for a hat trick. And the save is made by Nash. Nice play by Nash to make the save. Hazel puts some mustard behind it. I needed a little bit more spin. It was right at Nash. And the junior leading scorer on the Trojans last year will get the Petaluma's first corner of the game. Hazel gets her own kick. And Deonza will just clear it away. You can just see the exhaustion on their faces. Ella Winchester, the senior defender, one of 7 seniors on this experienced Dons team, frustrated. They've had no opportunities tonight against the purple and white. Rocha. Oh, she kicked it off the side of the goalpost. That will not give you 3 points, as it does in football. Unfortunately for Petaluma, it will be Deonza ball. 10 minutes remaining here in this first half. 30 minutes gone, half hour. This cold Monday night. Deonza stepped out. Trojan ball. Couple other highlights last year for Petaluma. They had a double overtime victory over Sonoma Valley as we see a whole line change. 4 outs for Ann Crysdale, who had that goal. We'll take a seat. Grevin entered, and I did not even catch all of them. Petaluma's going to get to play probably all their players tonight. They'll all get varsity action. That one has ventured into the stands, and a Dons fan is going to have to retrieve it for the junior defender, Zoe Frothinger. Mentioning highlights last year in the successful season for Petaluma, they had a double overtime victory against Sonoma Valley. That one was tied all the way into double overtime. And Lauren Hazel, who we've seen had a big night tonight, she had the game-winning goal in that one. Part of 15 victories for Petaluma in their 2017-18 season. And the 1-0 loss to Kennedy was really very even, too. You always wonder if Petaluma maybe hadn't allowed the late one in. It was in the 80th minute. Kennedy scored on the road, too, and the Trojans played valiantly against a good Kennedy team who, as the Trojans get it ahead, and the save is made by Nash. There's a whole hoist of Trojans. Grevin, Barry, Eleanor Burnett. I think Burnett might have been the one that got the foot on it in the end after Rodriguez had an excellent cross. Nash able to come out and make the save. Still fighting hard tonight. Has to be a frustrating night for her. Already 4 goals she's allowed in. High expectations for this Petaluma Varsity girls soccer team. They are showing you why tonight so far. This team has talent all over. We haven't seen the keeper for Petaluma, Ceci, challenge. That's really the one question mark, but there are no other question marks on this team. Excellent defense, excellent attacking. Maybe a little bit concerned about the finishing, but the finishing has been good tonight. Hazels look good. Herman had a beautiful move. Crysdale sent a rocket into the corner of the net. They found all sorts of ways to score. There's still plenty of time left in this one. Another substitution. Callie Sullivan is on for her varsity appearance, and Frothinger, who's been battling hard, will take a seat to the cheer of her teammates. And the chemistry has to be excellent on this Petaluma team with over half the team returning. On the sideline right in front of the head coach for De Anza, State Petaluma ball. It's been a tough night for Marcus Matto's girls. The Dons send it forward, but can't keep it in as the ball will roll on this beautiful new track. About 7 minutes with stoppage time remaining in the first half on this blustery night from Steve Ellison Field. De Anza will continue their busy schedule. They play Richmond in another league game tomorrow down in the East Bay. Four 4-0 the score here, all Petaluma in this first half. De Anza going to get a free kick at the 30, which is about the farthest they've been able to control the ball downfield. One time, Ceci had to come out of her box and just clear it away. That is it. Excellent job by the Petaluma defenders tonight. They've got some new defenders in there. I mentioned Sullivan, just entered. He's a very, very talented athlete. NCS track, NCS sprinter. Some very good young girl sprinters. Petaluma. Sullivan, one of them. Ceci will come out and make the play. That didn't look like a scared freshman, and this crowd gives one of its loudest cheers of the night to the freshman. Excellent play by Silvana Ceci on the cross, and that certainly was one to challenge the goalkeeper for De Anza. Not to worry. Now Sullivan. Oh, it falls all the way to a Trojan player. That was Burnett. But she didn't get enough on it. Excellent run, though, by Callie Sullivan. You see that sprinter speed. There's a lot of speed on this Petaluma team. And Sullivan's right back at it again. I mean, you think you see enough speed with the Rocha twins, especially with Melissa. But man, you had Callie Sullivan to this bunch with her speed. I mean, there is just so much pure speed on the road. Melissa Rocha was almost always the fastest player on the turf, no matter who Petaluma played last year, as Barry is hit hard. Good to see Kendra Barry out there. The injury occurred in that thrilling Annalee 0-0 draw. She went out early in that one and never returned last year. The captain for Petaluma. She's still kind of recovering, but she's out there and playing. Cross in, lots of traffic. Barry will fall on it. She led the team in scoring the first half of the year. Go get Howard, yes! Francis Guggenhauer's done it again. It's another wonder goal. Well, all 1,400 students here at Petaluma High School have seen Guggenhauer's goal against De Anza last year into the top right-hand corner on the other side of the field. They see it about once every 3 mornings on the Trojan Live sports segment. And she's just added another wonder goal to her resume. That certainly will be on Trojan Live tomorrow morning. She knew it, too. And the whole bench knew it. Shouting wonder goal. Now, Guggenhauer is electric. She has the ball. Started out this game really, really well. Took a seat. Re-entered. Made her presence known. It is 5-0. And Petaluma has shown they can finish with a flair. Just a few more minutes remaining here in this first half. It's hard to know the exact time. There is no clock on the scoreboard. It's up to the ref's watch as Nash picks up Sullivan's cross. But the Trojans have made a big statement here to VVAL soccer. And when you look at the other teams, every single other VVAL team has played, there has not been a lot of success in the Vine Valley so far among other teams. And it's up and down a better league than SCL, but it's debatably, as that one by Burnett was wide right, debatably SCL overall was a better girls soccer league than VVAL because of at the top. Annalise, Sonoma Academy, Petaluma, and Sonoma Valley, those were 4 very good teams. As Hernandez Ramirez is taking a seat, and Charlotte Crysdale has a goal tonight. Will re-enter. This year, it's probably Petaluma, Casa Grande, Sonoma Valley, the 3 top teams. Maybe American Canyon would be the other team in the bunch, but I don't think those 4 teams are probably as strong as VVAL. The benefit is, overall, there aren't as many really weak teams. Petaluma really beat up last year on the weaker half of SCL. Excellent give and go. Guggenhauer off the post. Rebound. Unable to be handled by Grevin. Guggenhauer almost did it again. That one would have been even more spectacular. But it gave a right clang. A loud clang, I should say, off the top post. Big throw by the De Anza keeper. There's probably some frustration in that. She has to thank the post. It's not 6-0. Grevin nearly cleaned up the scraps. A little too far that time for Rodriguez. Refs starting to look at their watches. Awaiting the end of this first half here from Steve Ellison Field, the season opener for Petaluma. Already the 4th game for the Anza Dons. And the Trojans have made a statement in the first half. There is the whistle. 5 of them. Yeah, you can count it. Fill your right hand. As the Trojans dominate De Anza to lead 5-0 at the end of 40 minutes here from Steve Ellison Field. Second half coming up next. We are just underway. Start of the second half here with Petaluma leading 5-0 over De Anza. And they are getting right back to work. Looking for Rocha. De Anza defense has tried to stand up to this merciless attack by Petaluma, but the Dons have they've hung in there. They've done a good job of that, but Petaluma's talent and skill on this team is too much. You see the beautiful move by Hazel. Back to defense for Petaluma that has not had to do too much work tonight. De Anza pressed them back only a couple times, even made things interesting. Sessi really made one nice play on a free kick, but the freshman goalkeeper's had a quiet night, and the Petaluma offense has been electric. Frothinger with a beautiful move. The defender over the middle. It's a 3-on-1. Rocha scores! Melissa Rocha makes it 6-0. She struggles with her finishing touch, but that was an excellent move that time. You hope to see some improvement from the junior player, and you saw the improvement there. The Trojans barrage there, and the Anza defense has to be discouraged at this point. And Petaluma just overwhelming them 3 against 1. You really have no shot. There's so much speed on this Petaluma team, but they're tactically so sound. You could hear in halftime head coach Deegan Babal still coaching them, still room to improve. But a night like tonight, it's looked like they've been nearly flawless. This is a team that might be able to do something special. You never want to take too much away from one game. They're looking for goal number 7 here. Anza able to get back. Frothinger centering it, looking for Goggenhauer, who already has 1 tonight. Trojans have shared the love too, Hazel with 2, but 4 other Trojans with 1 goal. The Dons clear it. Excellent job by Lambert. Rocha tried to be given back by Herman, who also has a goal tonight. And Rocha has scored. Or was it go? It was Goggenhauer. 7 now. And the Anza defense just letting that one go there. Nice tic-tac-toe passing. Only 3 minutes gone here in this first half, and Petaluma quickly added a couple more. If there was a mercy rule in soccer, it would be into effect very soon, but there's not. We'll see how many Petaluma can put on the Dons tonight. You watch a game like this and you think Anza is so lowly. This is not a lowly Anza team. This is just a extremely elite Petaluma team. It's crossed. Oh! Herman should have scored just a little too far, and then the Anza defender nearly kicked it into her own net. Trying to clear it, but it was an awfully dangerous clear. Hernandez Andrea with the clear. Apparently last off Petaluma, that was the ruling. Goggenhauer trying to do it herself. Might have needed a teammate there. So they look for goal number 8. I'm going to lose count soon here, many of the fans in the purple stands here. Ellison Field. There's a foul. It's been a good clean game tonight. By those standards, Hazel is fouled. Trojans have no fouls. Dion's is just 2, and that's something you want to see. But you're also happy to see the refs not call it too tight. Don't be a factor in a soccer game. Especially in a soccer game, the ref should be a non-story. Hazel will take a breather, the senior. Spent a lot to the soccer program, been on it since she was a freshman. And a lot of these upperclassmen have played on this varsity team with a freshman, and it means their chemistry is so good. It's so vital as a team, as Grevin will enter. So vital for a soccer team to really work as one, and all 11 players on the pitch working as one moving machine to accomplish your goal. And you can't have your as strong as your weakest player, as that shot is saved. It is a new goalkeeper who's actually wearing a sweater, so I couldn't tell you what her number is, because I cannot see it. But Deonza's trying in a new goalkeeper. It's been a rough night for Sam Nash, the starting keeper for Deonza. She let 7 in. But a lot of it not her fault. Goggenhauer was looking for 2, and then Herman, had an opportunity. Petaluma is not sitting back and being nice. The ref's going to have a conversation with the goalkeeper. Holiday Lights are out there giving her a yellow. I mean, this game is well out of hand. Unnecessary in my mind. I think a delay of game was the call. But they give the goalkeeper a yellow card. I see some Holiday Lights up on the hill. I don't have a great angle of them behind me, but you always love December for the holiday lights, and apparently the yellow card is enough for that keeper to be gone, and we're going to see another change in goalkeeper as she gets booked in the ref's book. 7-0 the score. About 7 minutes gone in this second half. Only the ref's watch truly knows the exact time, but by our estimations, the healthy crowd has taken in this season opener that has been all Petaluma dominance from start to finish. And with the Trojans, you don't want complacency. It's a pretty easy non-conference schedule, and they're not going to beat up on VVL teams as much as they did in FCL last year. Healdsburg, LCL, and Elmo, Pioneer aren't as weak as the bottom of VVAL. Oh, yikes. That was ugly. Deonza just clears it. Now, she's laughing about it. She's in good spirits. The third string Deonza goalkeeper, but I think that's why she's third string. Now, that looked like me trying to, if I was, drop kicking a football. It does not end up well half the time. Guggenhauer to Grevin. Guggenhauer! Save made. That's some better poise, and the cheers from the Dons bench. Well, the Dons goalkeeper, though, stepped out of bounds, so not all the poise. And Dons has let this one get away from them in the second half. You can't blame them if their effort has dwindled. They made a long trip up there, and they've really been humiliated here tonight by a Petaluma team that is too good. Bottom of the league in the VVAL, probably Justin Sienna, Napa, and Vintage. As the header by Rocha just couldn't get around on it. That would have been a sweet goal. They should not. The Trojans shouldn't have to go to sleep against those teams. Those teams are probably a little bit worse than this Deonza team. Maybe a little bit better, depending on their experience levels, and you never know. But judging by their records in the last couple years, Trojans should be beating those teams, but I don't think that they should be, really coasting when you play LCL like Petaluma did last year. It was kind of a joke. A lot of games in SCL were jokes for a lot of sports teams. And the girls' soccer is a rare one where there was actually a lot of good teams at the top of the Sonoma County League. Girls' soccer is probably, in my quick realm of thinking about all the sports, it's probably the only sport where SCL is debatably better than the VVAL was, and obviously SCL defunct now, does not exist after its 60 years. VVL, the Napa schools have such a proud programs, and most girls soccer is just not one of them, and the Trojans are so good at soccer, as are many of the Sonoma County teams. It's just a really excellent soccer program for girls soccer. We mentioned Maria Carrillo and Montgomery, two of the best teams in the state. Newman won a state title. Guggenhauer has hit the wrong post. She has hit the goalpost. Second time the Trojans have hit a goalpost tonight. They still haven't made a field goal. A couple of football players out here. They might need to help them out. 10 minutes gone in the second half. 30 minutes left to go. Petaluma 7, Deonza 0 in this season opener for the Trojans from Steve Ellison Field. We're covering a lot of soccer games. Last year is Rocha. Sends another one. Save is made. And you can just see it's the barrage. Shot after shot after shot. And Petaluma unrelenting. Deonza has barely been able to control this ball in the second half. Really even worse than the first half. And it was probably 80 to 20% ball control. We covered probably about five or six soccer games last year, girls soccer games. Those are in full on our channel, including a couple of the thrillers that we mentioned. The Deonza game last year, historic 7-2 victory in NCS was a good one. Petaluma's put up 7 goals again here tonight. The 0-0 draw against the Tigers. Beautiful give and go. And the cross was not what Frothinger was dreaming of. She'll hope to have that one back in her dreams tonight. Alas, it's not a 0-0 game. It was not a decisive play. But very exciting year last year for the girls soccer team. we were there for along the ride, and we'll continue to be along for the ride. We might not be as many games as I wish, and that's the VVAL scheduler's fault, putting basketball games and soccer games synonymous together, always playing the same team in the same place. So, for example, when the boys basketball team will be playing Casa Grande for the Egg Bowl, the girls soccer team will be having their VVAL game of the year, probably. Could be the VVAL basically title game against Casa Grande here at Ellison Field. And it's just kind of a laziness by whoever scheduled VVAL, and it's to the punishment of the athletes and even more so the fans when you want to see teams play Casa Grande as they get it forward to Grevin just a little too far and over the line. Excellent run and excellent build-up. Unable to get the finish there. But it's the sit. I am cold. Oh, I'm all right, but thank you. Trojan center and score! Harmon has her second goal of the night. As this quick strike offense out of nowhere. Their seventh goal is out of nowhere. Just a simple cross, and this time they finish. As Herman scores 8-0, they have topped their goals from last year. I was asked if I was cold. I am cold. It is cold. 40 degrees, wind chill close to freezing. Rain expected tomorrow. Which the boys soccer team might have to deal with. They head up to take on the El Molino Lions. It's been a good start for the boys soccer team as well. Had a rough year last year, only 3 victories. Started 0-8 to start as Anza has something maybe brewing here. Alas, no, this Petaluma defense, they're so good. And they clear with poise and ease, working as one. The chemistry so strong. Every player knows what the other's tendencies are, and they know what their job is, and they're doing it. Playing defense in soccer, it's an unselfish job. You got to be real unselfish. Getting forward to Frothinger. She's had a lot of opportunities to cross. She just crosses over the defender. And Deonza clears it away. Crysdale sends it one. Crysdale has a goal tonight. More Trojans getting warmed up. We have nearly seen every single player out on this 25-player roster tonight, and expect to see them all with about 15 more minutes remaining. Oh, I know. 25 more minutes remaining in this one. Many of the fans and I bet many of the players want 15 minutes too. It is cold, and it is 8-0. But there's no mercy rule in soccer. Now, the Trojans might make it in a lot of teams wishing there was a mercy rule, and a lot of teams wishing they go home. The talent on this team. But it is, if they're going to have a lot of blowout wins, that they got to keep up. And when they're going to play good teams, it can often be more challenging, especially if they go to NCS and are hoping to win NCS, could be a top seed in NCS, but haven't faced the likes of the Campolindos, the Miramontes, the Kennedys of the world that play in some really good leagues in the East Bay that day in and day out play the top leagues. Grevin battling, the senior doing well. And the Trojans are back in business. The speed by Rocha. She scored. What a goal. We're wondering if Hazel has the hat trick. Well, Melissa Rocha has taken her thunder. 3 goals for Rocha tonight. And I think the Trojan supporters are too cold to throw their hats onto the field. They're going to use them for warmth. But she's got the hat trick. 9-0. A speed by Rocha and an excellent finish in the left corner. Her touch is much better tonight than it was last year. She's clearly worked on it in club soccer. And you got to find your weaknesses and improve. The Trojans have done that so far. A lot of the issues last year that caused them to fall off a little bit at the end of the year. Had a couple tough losses. Haven't been an issue tonight. Coach Babala said he felt like it was 3 games in a week like they have today. VVL schedule will only be 2 games in a week. But last year, playing 3 games in a week, pretty much throughout January, and the Trojans did look tired at the end of the year, and Coach Babala admitted that. They had a couple losses to Sonoma Valley, Sonoma Academy near the end of the season, a little bit disappointing. Trojans maybe just a little bit tired. Nice give and go. Crysdale couldn't catch up to it, though. And this year, because of that, Coach Babala has a couple more players on his varsity roster, and it's a deep team, as you can see. There is talent up and down this roster. There's a lot of talent on the JV team as well, just because there's so many seniors. 9 on this team. There's not a lot of room for underclassmen. So the JV team also beat De Anza. They should be good as well this year. Head coach Stacy Vogel for the JV girls soccer team had a good season last year as well. With many of the underclassmen that are on this team were on the JV team last year. But it will be a long season, and we'll see if Petaluma can keep this play up day in and day out. It's easy to bring it in your season opener, but can you bring it in, a Wednesday night in January at Vintage, when the Crushers are playing their best? Maybe placing the Goliath, that's the true test. And, I say the same thing about the other powerhouses, even in professional sports. So the Warriors are, at Atlanta tonight on a Monday night. Can they win that game? That's the true test of a champion. I don't know if they won, by the way. Fired, and the save is made. Gogenhauer was looking for goal number 3, looking for another wonder goal. Not that time. 9-0. And the keeper for De Anza, she's all right, but her drop kicks are not the best. Those could use some work. Rocha. Trojans hoping to get double digits. Still have over 20 minutes to go here in the second half. De Anza ball. And here comes a line change, and I think that's going to do it for the Petaluma starters for tonight. The Trojan fans get their arms and hands moving, badly needed, patting their mitts, as the Trojan starters take a seat, and we're going to see a whole line change of a lot of underclassmen getting ready to enter. Eleanor Burnett, Katrina Rodriguez, we've already seen a couple of them. Senior Tess Barron looking ready to go. Simone Smith, another new senior on this team, getting ready to enter. De Anza with a little run down the field, but this Petaluma defense, no holes. We've said it a lot tonight. Built a wall, worked as one. Easy cake. What a move by Crysdale. She gets it forward. Frothinger is all alone. Sends it across. And the save is made. Herman thought she had her own hat trick. It will be a corner, third corner of the night for Petaluma. It is Spirit Week here on the Petaluma High Campus. Winter Forum coming up on Saturday. Pajama day today, much needed. In this blustery cold. Might need some help with the rest of the days, though. I think it's holiday hat and sock day on Wednesday, but I'm blanking on tomorrow. And on a Friday is a whiteout. Holiday market on Thursday. Always one of my favorite events of the year here at Petaluma High School. Yeah, JSA is going to be having some really good baked goods, Mac. Come to the tables. I'll see what I can do. Yeah. Now, JSA is going to have some delicious, delicious baked goods. So if you're a student, stop by. Find the JSA table. Crysdale takes a seat. Muganum takes a seat. Herman takes a seat. The starters are all off now for Petaluma. Reserves are out there. But there's so much good stuff to eat. Come with an empty stomach. Come with a lot of cash if you're a student to Holiday Market. The halls are filled with spirit, with food. There's typically some vendors with some other interesting items as well. It's a lot of fun. One of the uniquely Petaluma High things. There aren't too many of them, but the ones that there are, they really stand out. They're ones that high schoolers will always remember. They help bring the warmth in this holiday cold. We have reached the halfway mark. You can see the wind gusting with the corner flag. Past the halfway point in the second half. 9-0. Petaluma searching for one more goal potentially to make it a double-digit victory. 10. Go ahead, Mac. We got about 18 minutes by my count left. Yeah, no problem. No worries. No, I understand that. It's cold. The Anza ball. Max Shattuck wondering how much time is left. Varsity wrestling team, which Mac is a part of, will be getting going Saturday at the Green and Gold tournament in San Marin. And speaking of teams that have a chance to do something special, the wrestling team is up on that list too. It's a free kick for Deonza behind the tent. Yeah. What? Yeah, you can come up here if you want. All right, Matt. Speaking of Max Shattuck, he's gonna join me himself here with girls soccer team leading 9-0 from Steve Ellison Field. Yeah. They've looked pretty good tonight, haven't they?
Yeah.
And this one comes in. Dion's able to make the save. Wrestling team's getting going up on Saturday. You guys are pretty excited for this season?
Yeah, this should be a good tournament. First tournament of the year, green and gold. Yeah, should give us a good look. Yeah.
You pretty much have an entire senior starting class. How beneficial it is to have that leadership, and you guys have, I think, 80 wrestlers on the team this year, which is crazy.
Yeah, well, our senior class has pretty much been together since 7th grade, the same group of guys, and we're just so tight, and we just work together really well, and that's how our team's so strong. But now that we have so much new wrestlers, we kind of got to bring them up to keep our legacy going.
How have you guys been able to build like such remarkable numbers? And I mean, I think in the past numbers were an issue for Petaluma. And you guys have, if you do the math, that's like half a percent, like a percent of the entire school is on the wrestling team.
Yeah.
Great save made there.
It's a great sport, and we all just are so close, like together, family, and we're pretty much like brothers and sisters now. And we all work together and cheer each other on when we're on the mat, and that's how we bring people in. They want to be a part of the family.
Yeah. You guys definitely have a great program, and new league this year, VVAL, after winning SCL the last 2 years, pretty dominant fashion. Should be a lot more challenging in this new league. How are you looking forward to the Vine Valley?
Yeah, SCL we kind of swept, to be honest. But Vine Valley will give us a little bit of challenge, see what we really have, and hopefully take the championship this year again for the third year in a row, and be the first chance to Vine Valley League. So yeah.
That would be thrilling as the Trojans try to get it forward to Grevin. And it heads out. Thank you to Max Shattuck. Varsity wrestler, varsity football player, and just an excellent person. Joining me here, and didn't mention the final wrestling meet of the year here at home. Trojans have 3 of them. We'll be live streaming the first one against Vintage, who should compete with Petaluma for a VVL title. That's just in a couple weeks. And then the final senior night against Casa Grande will be in the gym. Yes, that's right. Normally they're in the multi-purpose room. It's going to be in the gym. It's going to be packed. Casa Grande supporters, Petaluma supporters. It's never been done before, and it could decide a VVL title. Casa coach was kind of trash-talking in the Argus Courier. He thinks Casa and Petaluma are the best 2 teams. This one sent in, and the save is made. Oh, Burnett thought she might have her first varsity goal to make it 10, but not just yet. Still 9-0. Kendra Berry fired, and it's blocked. Dion's a much smaller team. They have much less reserves. So they're having most of their starters out. Trojans with a lot of reserves, and it's certainly helped limit the score. The Trojans were really running up the score with their starters. The wind has gotten worse too here tonight.
That one heads out. Varsity boys soccer team, mentioned them. They're getting ready to go, ready to practice. They have a late night practice here tonight under Greg Lemansky. 2 draws to start the year, 0-0 against Healdsburg. Their season opener last Tuesday, and then a 1-1 draw against rival Annalee on Tuesday. We were going to be out on their Saturday game against Deer Valley, but it was canceled. Deer Valley had some transportation issues. But Thursday, they're back here at home against Roseland University Prep, and we will be here. Same thing, live stream. Not live stream, but full commentary, full game. And interviews after, full coverage. We'll see. Boys soccer team so far surpassing expectations. They've had a good start to the year, and they really opposite. VDL is an excellent league for boys soccer. Vintage is one of the top teams in the state, so it could be pretty tricky in VVAL for the boys soccer team, but they look like they're a lot more competitive from last year, and they've got some good, young, exciting players. Trojans have gotten it forward again, still pushing. Nice clear by the Dons. They're going to suffer their first loss of the year. Petaluma will go to 1-0. They play Santa Rosa on Wednesday as that one heads out. Back home here against Rancho Catani, who did not win a game, so that one could be ugly in a hurry, by my guess. It's a pretty busy schedule that continues. Look out, Brazil's Patio. That one nearly landed up there in the broadcast booth. Continue play a week from tomorrow. They'll be facing Terra Linda, a team that they did lose to last year. So a little revenge, potentially. And then they're on the road against El Cerrito. And then they're going to open up league play. And, I mean, judging by this possibility, De Anza is one of the better teams that they're playing in their non-conference schedule. They have not scheduled non-conference super challenging, but they certainly have a chance to be undefeated in their first 5 games with the non-conference schedule they have. And then they open up on the 21st, taking on Justin Siena to start VVAL play. Justin Siena did also not win a game last year. They played in MCAL, which is an excellent girls soccer league, but that's probably going to be the bottom of the Vine Valley. Hernandez Ramirez is still in there. They've looked for Grevin a lot tonight. She just hasn't been able to run down that final ball. But boy, they have been close. Trojans will be on the road and in January 4th taking on the Vintage Crushers. And back here against American Canyon on the 9th. And if the Petaluma continues to play this way, continues to play strong, that's really the first game that I look at that I would guess that they could fall in. I mean, you never know, but the way they're playing. American Canyon had a good year. It was a 2-0 game last year. It was a good game. That hurts. You defend by your head, as I believe that is Sullivan, who took one right on the nose, and she is holding it and sobbing. This may require some medical assistance. That's the ultimate sacrifice. That is Sullivan. Speedy sophomore. Babala is the medical assistant for tonight. Hope he's a doctor. Sullivan's probably going to have to take a seat. That's the applause from both sides, able to at least walk off. Continue Trojans, the game to circle we mentioned at home here against Casa Grande could decide the league title. January 11th, 6 o'clock, here at Steve Ellison Field. Oh, look at, wow. Those are some those are some energetic. Blanking on the name of what that's called. Jumping jacks, that's the name. She was into it. That is how you get warmed up. Anyways, 11th is when Petaluma plays Casa Grande. Probably the 2 league favorites in VVL. That one could decide the VVL title. De Anza kicks that one away. We're under 10 to go before this one mercifully ends on a night that just somehow manages to get colder and colder. Petaluma takes on the Gauchos back at Casa Grande on the east side January 30th. And then their senior night right after that, February 1st, taking on Napa. We'll be honoring the 11 seniors on their roster. So that'll be a big night. They didn't even have a senior night last year because no seniors on the team. You know, when you don't have a senior night, you're going to be really good the next year. But you're also probably going to have a big senior night, similar to the wrestling team we were talking about. All of their seniors give and go. Herman trying to get on the receiving end. She had to enter for Sullivan. Deonza booting it along. That's about the closest they've gotten it to Petaluma and making things interesting, which gives a cheer. Deonza was able to score last year, able to make things interesting. Scored first, led 1-0 in the first round NCS. This has been lopsided. Don's cleared away. Rodriguez, Herman. Playing it on to Delaney. Nice defensive play there by the Dons. Oh, and another nice defensive play, Rodriguez. Couldn't keep it in. Trojans finished their VVAL play on the 6th at American Canyon, so that could be, if they're competing for a VVAL title, that could be the clincher. Who knows, wrestling, girls soccer, certainly they look like they have shots at VVAL titles. So the girls golf team already with a Vine Valley Athletic League title, first in Petaluma High history, this new league this year. Thought the girls basketball team might have a shot, but it has not been an ideal start to their season, including a loss to a VVAL foe in Napa. But won the SCL title last year undefeated, and they improved a lot over the course of the year. We'll be following both basketball teams as they go on. There are plenty of live streams from the gym, but it could be a challenging year for the boys team, as Young has some talent, but they've already had to fight through a lot of adversity, a lot of tough losses early. The girls team badly missing Jaden Christ, who decided to forego her senior season due to injury. She's got a scholarship to play volleyball at Sonoma State, but that has really hurt the Trojan offense. They're going to play with a lot of good teams in VVAL. There's not going to be any nights off. That's your winter sports here, though. A lot of excitement around winter sports. League play starting at the end of this month. Everything moved up so early. Lambert, we mentioned we thought all the starters were out there. Lambert is still out there. Meganum's still out there. The defense has been out there all night. They have been excellent. No mistakes. That's a good sign. One mistake can cost you an NCS when one game is everything. They're going to be playing top teams. The defense has to be calm under pressure. And the Trojans have pushed it up again, still searching for goal number 10. But it's not there. More substitutions. Hazel and Grevin, who's played a lot tonight. Take a seat. Trojans, experienced, poised, talented, reliable coach on their home field this year. They are all ready to go. They've made a statement here tonight. Lambert decided to let one go. She don't get many opportunities to score if you're a defender. And able to force the corner. And another corner for Petaluma. Less than 5 to go here from Steve Ellison Field. First live streams coming up next week for Winter Sports with basketball. Boys basketball team taking on Santa Rosa a week from Friday. I believe that's the 14th. And the girls team the very next night on the 15th. They will be taking on Novato. And league play starts the very next week for basketball and soccer. And same with wrestling. That Wednesday wrestling team taking on Vintage. We'll have that one from the multi. And That's not a legal kick. The refs are being technical tonight. I'm surprised they don't want to go home, but apparently they enjoy this. I mean, I hope they do, but it is cold, it is windy, rain's supposed to come. You can feel it coming in this holiday season. Stay tuned after the game. We will have interviews with the stars of the game. It's to be a happy Petaluma roster after they've put together a complete game tonight. It's always hard to do. Coaches will often use it. Certainly coach speak to put a complete game together, but Petaluma has done just that tonight. They've been darn near perfect. 10 seniors, 14 returners. They know what they're doing. See the JV team behind the goal there for the boys. Varsity team, so whip your way around there over there, getting warmed up. As they await the use of Ellison Field here tonight. Should like this video. You can leave a comment too if you have any thoughts, any feedback. And you subscribe to the channel whenever we go live, or we're out covering a road game too. You can be able to see that. Already traveled on the road. Boys basketball team season opener against San Marin. Girls basketball team season opener against Rancho Cotati. On our YouTube channel, all the fall sports, the football season. If you want to see some good football, especially when football's over, I'd recommend the Justin Sienna Petaluma game. One of the best games I've seen. Probably the best high school football game I've seen. Also got volleyball on there as well. And our daily morning show, of course. Your full Petaluma Sports Report, 8:30 live on the Petaluma YouTube station. Beautiful ball forward, deflected, fighting for it near the goal line. It's going to be Deon's ball. Trojan reserves battling hard. There's some talent out there too. But Deon's has been finally able to patch up the bleeding, patch up the wounds. Trojans came out fast. It was 5-0 at the end of the first half. Trojans quickly scored 2 more. It was 7-0 in a blink of an eye. But the Trojans stuck quickly tonight. Herman, Hazel had the first 2 goals, quickly 2-0. Trojans put a couple more together by the end of the first half. This one was long done. Excellent teamwork, excellent finishing offensively. Had some nice crosses. Deon's has battled hard, as you can see, but hasn't been enough. Nice play by the keeper. And the refs should start to look at their watches for a final whistle. There it is. Final score here tonight. Petaluma Trojans 9, Anza Dons 0. It is a rout by Petaluma as they make a statement in their season opener. Interviews are next.
All right, we are here with Hannah Herman after the Trojans rout Deonza in your season opener. You guys played probably close to a perfect game tonight, didn't you guys?
I mean, there's always stuff that we can improve on, but I think that it was a good way to start the half, the season. It gave us some momentum going forward, and I think we're really looking to just keep improving. This is also not our hardest competitor, so to come out like this felt good, but we're definitely ready for challenges on Wednesday and Friday.
Offensively, you guys look really good. You had 2 of the goals tonight. You guys struggled at times to finish last year. How have you guys improved your finishing around the net so far?
I think almost everyone on the team has put in work outside, on the off season. I know that was something that was my weakest point last year, and so I really worked to make sure that I could finish goals because that's what we need. You can't win a game without scoring. So I think everyone's just been putting in work, and everyone's coming to training really ready to practice.
You're one of the senior captains on this team. How do you help lead this large team, and you still have a fair amount of sophomores and underclassmen on this team?
Yeah, I think what's important is that since we do have a lot of younger girls, is making them feel welcome, and we don't want any cliques or anything on the team. Everyone just tries to have a really good time, and even if we're feeling down, I mean, I know I try really hard to like get everyone pumped back up. Like, we want to have a good atmosphere. Like, we want to have fun while we're out here.
Thank you so much, Anna.
Yeah, thanks.
Here with head coach Deegan Mabal after the Trojans rout De Anza in your season opener. How important was it for you guys to look like you really clicked tonight in your first game of the year?
Yeah, it was huge. I think everyone goes into preseason with different expectations and plans, and I think for us it was really just trying some new things out, seeing how we can translate things from practice to games, and then also giving a chance for a lot of the incoming players to get their first chance playing varsity. So for a lot of them, it was really nice to get out there and play a good 20 minutes at least. So, yeah.
You guys are so experienced. You didn't have a single senior on the team last year. You return over half the team this year. How do you use your experience from a deep run in NCS, pretty successful year last year, to translate to even more success this year?
Well, I think a lot of the players, and myself included, we kind of know what we're capable of, and it really helps that we understand how a lot of the players play, what strengths are, weaknesses are. Mm-hmm. So building off of that from last year, we can go in and kind of know what gaps we need to fill, and then where we can really use our strengths to just kind of dominate other teams. So it just gives us a little bit of a head start, I think, on some of the other teams.
This team has really high expectations due to all the things we said and how good they looked tonight. VVL title, NCS title, how far do you think this team can go?
VVL title for sure is on the cards. I think we're definitely one of the teams up there to win it. And NCS too, and Annalee won it last year, and we were able to tie them at least once last year. So really anything's possible. I think it just comes down to what the team does on the field, and I think we're capable of doing it.
Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you to Hannah Herman and head coach Deegan Babala for those terrific interviews as the Trojans start off their season in the best way possible, 9-0 over De Anza as they cruise by a experienced Dons team, not the best team they're going to face all season long, as both of them said, but really probably one of the better teams they are going to play over the course of non-conference, maybe their best team that they'll face in non-conference against a good NBL Santa Rosa team on Wednesday, but a great start tonight. They finished so well at the net. Defense was dominant. They controlled the ball. There really don't look like there's weaknesses on this team. This team is experienced, and as Coach Bawala said, they can go as far as possible. VVL title, NCS title. This team is really, really good, and they have a chance to do some really special things this season. We'll continue to cover them the whole way. Certainly one of the most exciting teams all season long, and one of the most talented teams all season long. The chemistry, everything looked like it clicked tonight. We'll see if they can continue to do it over a very long season. That's going to do it here from Steve Ellison Field. Thank you so much for tuning in. Continue to tune into our girls soccer coverage all season long. Our next broadcast will be a boys soccer game. Thursday night, they take on Roseland University Prep. And our next live stream is next week. The boys basketball team is taking on Santa Rosa. Don't miss that right here on Trojan Live. But for everyone here at Trojan Live on this cold Monday night, I am Griffin Epstein. Final score here from Steve Ellison Field, Petaluma 9, De Anza 0. Good night.